Hey, so you just bought some rural land, or maybe you're real close to pulling the trigger, and the first thing running through your head is probably, okay, when do we start building? I get it, I totally get it. But hold on just a second, because today we're talking about something that might actually save you a lot of money and a lot of headaches down the road. Welcome to the Land Buyer's Guide. I'm Scott Thomas, founder of landparker.com, where we help everyday people get onto land they can actually afford with owner financing, low down payments, and payments that work with a real budget. If you're new here, glad you found us. And if you've been listening for a while, welcome back. So today's topic is this. What do you actually do with your land before you start building on it? And I don't mean that in a stressful way. I mean it in the best possible way. Because the time between buying your land and breaking ground, that period is genuinely one of the most valuable stretches of the whole journey. And a lot of people just skip it. They rush. And honestly, the ones who slow down a little almost always end up happier with what they build. So let's get into it. First thing, and this one sounds simple, but it makes a huge difference. Go camp on your property. Spend the night out there. Even just one weekend changes how you see the land. During a daytime visit, you're getting maybe a few hours of information. But when you're out there after dark, when you wake up at sunrise, when you feel what the temperature does overnight, that's a completely different experience. You start noticing stuff, where the sun comes up and where it goes down relative to your lot, how the wind moves through, whether certain spots feel damp in the morning, whether there's more wildlife activity than you expected. All of that is useful. Bring a notebook, write stuff down, even if it feels silly. A lot of landowners say that camping on their property a few different times, different weekends, different weather, gave them a clearer picture of where they wanted to build than anything else could. And that leads right into the next thing. Actually walk the whole property, every edge, every corner. Take a printed map if you have one and mark what you find. Because rural land often has surprises deeper in that you never notice from the road or from a quick showing. You might find a natural spring or a creek that only runs certain times of year, old fence lines, stone walls, mature trees that have been there for decades, high points with great views, low spots that look fine in summer but might collect water in the spring, wildlife trails. There's a lot going on out there, and the more you know about it before you start planning, the smarter your decisions are going to be. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't think about until it's too late. Visiting your land in different seasons. If your timeline gives you any flexibility at all, this is worth doing. A meadow that looks dry and flat and perfect for building in July might be sitting under standing water in March. A shaded valley that feels amazing on a hot August day might be cold and sunless in January. Seasonal visits help you understand drainage patterns, frost pockets, which areas get the most sun, which matters a lot if you're thinking about solar panels or a garden, and what road access actually looks like when things get muddy. Even just 3 or 4 visits spread across spring, summer, and fall can give you a much richer picture of what you're working with. Okay, let's talk about something a little more hands-on. Before you design a full homestead layout, think about starting a small test garden on your property. And I mean small. A few raised beds, a simple vegetable plot, nothing permanent. The point isn't to grow a ton of food right away. The point is to test your soil, figure out which spots get the best light, and see what actually grows well in your specific area. It also just gives you a reason to go out there regularly, keeps you connected to the land during the planning phase. And honestly, there's something about tending even a tiny garden that makes a piece of property feel like yours in a way that nothing else really does. Now, some people go a step further and set up a temporary base camp before they build anything permanent. Could be a platform tent, a small shed with a sleeping loft, a converted trailer, a yurt. There are a lot of options depending on your budget and your county's rules. A temporary setup like this lets you spend real time on the land without a huge investment up front. You can test out off-grid systems, solar power, rainwater collection, composting toilets before you commit to a permanent design. You can do land clearing at your own pace. You can learn what you actually need before you build something that might not fit how you really live. One thing worth mentioning here, check your local zoning rules before you put up any kind of structure. Regulations are really different from county to county in rural areas, and a quick call to your local planning office can tell you what's allowed. It's just worth knowing before you get too far down the road. Something else that I think is underrated, learning the wildlife and ecology of your land. Take a little time during each visit to just observe. Keep a journal. Write down what birds you see, what tracks you find, what plants are growing where, how things change, season to season. Over time, that record becomes surprisingly useful. It helps you understand the land in a way that no map or listing description ever could. And if you want to go deeper, reach out to your local agricultural extension office. These folks are local, they know the region, and they can help you identify native plants, understand water patterns, and manage your land in a way that actually works for that specific area. Before heavy equipment ever shows up, it's also worth thinking about trails and road access. Mowing or clearing simple walking paths through your property is cheap. It helps you understand the terrain, and it starts to show you where a driveway or access road might make the most sense. That's important because driveway costs can really vary depending on how far your building site is from the road and how much clearing is involved. Pay attention to the natural slopes, how water would run off a driveway after rain. Think about what trees might need to come down for access, and check on any easements or shared access points you should know about. Getting a clear picture of this early can save you real money when construction time comes. And one more thing before I wrap up, introduce yourself to your neighbors. I know that might feel a little old-fashioned, but rural neighbors are often one of the best resources you'll ever find. Longtime locals know things about that land and that area that no online search is going to turn up. Weather patterns, water sources, history of the property, who to call for what. Most of them are genuinely happy to talk, especially when new landowners take the time to say hello instead of just showing up with bulldozers one day. Local feed stores, farmers markets, community events, those are all great places to meet people who share similar goals and know the area well. So here's the big takeaway from all of this. The time before building is not wasted time. It's actually an investment. Every hour you put into observing your land, exploring it, testing things out, that's time that's going to pay off when you're actually building. You'll make fewer expensive mistakes. You'll feel more confident, and you'll end up with something that actually fits the land and fits the way you want to live. Rural land is a long game. The best homesteads and off-grid properties out there were almost always built by people who slowed down first, got to know what they had, and then built with intention. That's the goal. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you're still looking for land, or if you're thinking about getting started and just haven't found the right property yet, head over to landparker.com. We've got rural vacant land available across the country at prices that are actually affordable, with owner financing options, low down payments, and monthly payments that work for real people. Take a look at what's available, ask questions, and take your time. We're here to help. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.